Good evening. I'm Marty Chestnut, and welcome back to Inside the Director's Mind. Now, today's guest you may know for her long legs, creative content, but today we're going to dig into her creative mind. She recently released her short film documentary, Love Letters from the American Highway, and her new short film is coming out Friday called There's a Hole in the Sky. She is now embarking on a new journey and showing that she's more than just a hot bod and cool clothes. Everyone, please show a warm welcome for Penny Angela, sexy, vivacious Penny. Welcome.
Hey, hi everyone. Thank you. Hi, Marty.
Yes, sit down, honey. Yes.
We're matching.
Oh, we're matching. Thanks for joining us this evening and welcome to Behind the Director's Mind.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here with you guys today. I'm really excited.
So before we speak about present and future, let's take a look back. Where were you born?
Well, I was born in Queens, New York, but I lived in a small suburban town in Long Island. And that's where I was raised in Patchogue. Have you ever heard of it?
I haven't heard of it. Tell me more about Long Island.
Well, my life on Long Island, it was quite boring at first. But the thing about living in a quiet suburban town, Marty, is that, it makes you more creative. I had to find ways to make art so I could survive my daily life. Initially, I always felt that it was boring, but recently going back home, I realized that there's beauty in these small town and places, and that is, what inspired me with my first short film, but we'll get into that later, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
Yes, I'm inspired by small town Americana, gas stations, cigarettes. Do you smoke, Marty?
Of course I do.
Ooh, well, we love a man that smokes.
We can share one later.
So anyway, I love the gas stations, cigarettes, casinos, dive bars, beer.
Oh.
So I really, I don't know. I'm just, my first interview, I'm a little bit nervous, Marty.
It's okay. Okay.
Oh, just got.
Well, I'm going to take you through the whole thing. All right? Okay. Let's get to the hard-hitting questions.
Oh, already.
Do you find it difficult to navigate these small towns, Americana towns, as a Black woman trying to get inspiration from them?
I get asked that question a lot, and I do not find it that hard to navigate those spaces. I don't bother people when I'm out at these bars, and if I am feeling any sort of danger, I leave. I know what it's like to be near strange men, Marty. You should know. Especially the East Coast small towns, I know how to navigate them because that's where I've lived for most of my life. And ultimately, when I am on these road trips, I'm respectful. I'm not trying to cause a scene or anything. There has been times where people would say things that perhaps I don't agree with, and then I just leave those bars or places. I'm not trying to start a fight with people that are carrying peepees or anything, but for the most part, honestly, I haven't had any scary encounters with strange men,
Let's hope not ever.
Because strange men do exist, Marty. I'm sure you know.
Oh, do they ever? Well, before we get into Love Letters from the American Highway, let's talk about your modeling. Because I've seen the pics.
Oh, yeah, those photos.
I've seen the pics.
I'm sure you have.
Don't be embarrassed. Are you shy about your past work modeling?
Well, no, that experience, I am grateful for it. And had I not done it, people wouldn't even know who I am. But there are things that I wish I haven't done in a way. The world has seen me naked, but it has been always tastefully done. I just wish that I was more, perhaps, thoughtful about the nude work that I've done. When I first moved here, I was eager to get behind anyone's camera, and now I want to be known and taken seriously as an artist and more than just a body. I never did nothing that was untasteful or crude or anything, even though I've been naked in a lot of things. Yeah.
Oh, like what? Where? What?
Well, those things are in the past now, Marty. I don't want to be known for that. So, for all the young girls watching, be really mindful of the things that you do when you're younger and when you need money. Because when I first moved to LA, I had no money at all. So, I had to do those little nudie pictures. But now I want to be known as a filmmaker and a poet and an actress. And I wonder if those nude photos and the sexy, I don't know, stuff that I did, will people not see me as an artist? So I don't regret it, but.
Where can I see these photos?
Well, you can see more of me in Love Letters to the American Highway and my new short film that's coming out this Friday. There's a hole in the sky.
Yes, we will get back on track. Okay,
please.
Love Letters to the American Highway, well received by film critics and film goers alike. Are you surprised by that response?
Yes, I was shocked. I've been underlooked as an artist all of my career. So when you're finally being visible for the first time, it is really frightening because now you have all these eyes on you and they're critiquing you and they're judging you for the things you've done wrong, the things you've done good. So before, I was able to create the worst art, the best art, and no one saw it, so it didn't really matter. But now it does matter. But regardless, I am happy that there's more eyes on me. I'm not famous at all, so I was actually really shocked. But it is validating to have people see me as a filmmaker and that people enjoyed it. So far, it's one of the most successful things I've done. It's not, Spielberg or Scorsese level, but for me, it is pretty successful. So I was pleasantly shocked.
Yes, I loved it. Everybody go see that, okay?
Yes, go watch it. It's out now.
I found what you did with Love Letters to be innovative. The mix of poetry and creativity, it was so dark. Come up with those big ideas yourself, all with your little brain?
Of course not. No, I did not. Some random guy did it all for me, Marty. A guy that looks just like you.
Of course. Maybe it was me.
Someone sent him the royalty.
So there's a brilliant man behind all of this? Tell me about him.
No, brilliant men don't exist, Marty. You should know. I'm joking. I wrote all of it. It all came from me. I filmed it all. I wrote the poetry all myself with this big old brain.
Spicy. Ooh, Betty Angela. Okay, let's dig into this mind you claim to have. Your new film is unlike anything I've ever seen.
Oh, really? Is that a bad thing?
I mean, well, it was quite unnerving. Wasn't very linear. And I gotta say, woman to have such a curious mind. And I see it got 2 thumbs down from film critics Jerry and Mick. They said, and I quote, Penny Angela proves yet again she's the best in front of a camera instead of behind it. If we wanted a boorish nightmare, we would have just waited in rush hour traffic on the 101. Now, how do you respond to that?
Well, I don't respond to it at all, Marty. You know what? For the people that don't get it, that is fine. I am not creating films for the masses. Mainstream media doesn't have good taste, and I never looked at people that listen to top 40 music to be the true markers of taste. So every bad review is a good review in my book. And you know what? I welcome bad reviews. I love bad reviews. I feel some of the best films in the world get bad reviews that later became cult classics, So the fact that they don't like it, that makes me happy. I'm not making things to be appealed to the masses. The masses have really bad taste, Marty. You should know.
Is that a part of me? Things are getting spicy again. Okay. Well, let's switch gears here.
Okay.
Do you think your recent weight loss hindered you as a creative? Did you lose some of that juice?
Well, I can attest, Marty. The juice is all still here.
She's still juicy.
I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's still juicy.
I am juicy as ever.
Oh, folks, I can assure you, she's still juicy.
Is this what Inside the Director's Mind is about? Did I come on the wrong show? I came here to talk about my short film, There's a Hole in the Sky, out this Friday, Marty. So I find it really boring and low rent to talk about my body and am I on Ozempic? How did I lose the weight? I am here to be known as a serious filmmaker and artist and poet, Marty. I worked really, really hard on this project and I'm super excited to talk about it.
I want to hear more about this film.
Well, with Love Letters to the American Highway, that first initially started as like a vlog style video. But as I was in the editing process, I realized that this is going to become a short film. So the initial intent of Love Letters wasn't a short film, but when I started sequencing the poetry to the landscape and what I was recording, it felt like a short film style documentary. So I began to film it that way. However, with this film, my feature short film, There's a Hole in the Sky, this has started as a short film. It's intended to be a short film. It is a short film. So it's different in that way. And I knew what it was going to be. None of my friends know I'm doing this film up until now. You know, release press week, it's out and now they know. I've been just watching films every day on Criterion Channel, learning and doing the best that I can to be a filmmaker. I'm pretty sure, as the critics know, I have no experience in this, and I'm trying to navigate it as a new filmmaker. Inspired by my favorite filmmaker, David Lynch, I pay homage to him in this, and he has been obviously a really big source of inspiration for me, Marty. So that is the difference between the two. So in a way, I will say There's a Hole in the Sky is my first short film, and Love Letters to the American Highway, which you guys all may know, is my first short film documentary.
It's a lot. That's a lot for the little lady.
Look, I have a lot of words, Marty.
A lot of words for a little lady, you know? All in that brain up there. Stuck in that noodle up there. Now, for the hard-hitting questions. The folks want to know, have you taken Ozempic?
I find questions like that to be really low rent and just such a bore. There's so much more to talk about, like my new short film, There's a Hole in the Sky, out this Friday. But as for the Ozempic allegations, Marty, are you on Ozempic?
Oh, I would never. Don't need that. I work out every night with the ladies.
Wow.
Burning calories.
Looks like you can probably use Ozempic then. Probably not burning that many calories with those girls.
Okay, you know what? Let's get serious now.
Well, is this what's really behind the director's mind, Marty? I waited all my life to be on this show. I used to watch you when I was a little girl. So I find questions about my weight and my body to be really quite boring and low rent. I worked really hard on my short film, Love Letters to the American Highway, and There's a Hole in the Sky, out this Friday. As I said before, Marty, I find the masses to be quite boring. So if people don't like my film, that's a good thing. The greats like David Lynch and John Waters, you know, male directors, when they have bad reviews, it never hindered their career. So I find it really interesting that people think because I'm getting these bad reviews from critics that I don't know the name of and that I don't even care about, that it's going to stop me from creating. You know, some of the best filmmakers have the worst reviews out there. And as the years go on, Marty, you would find to know that those films become some cult classics. And then everyone loves them. And now they're worth millions of dollars. And they're the films that give these directors royalties and your children for years. So I'm not really concerned with the opinions of the masses because the masses don't have good taste anyway, you know. They listen to top 40 music, and there's nothing wrong with top 40, but those are not the people I'm creating for. I'm creating for people that want to think deeper, that want to go beyond what they see and what they can perceive, Marty. And if those people don't like my films, then that's fine because I'm not creating for them anyway.
Okay. Well. What's next for Penny Angela? More plans to lose weight?
Actually, I'm going to work on 2 more short films this year. I want to release 2 short films at the end of 2025. Self-publish my first poetry book that, you know, my supporters and subscribers have been really asking me about the short film. So I'm going to be working on the short films and the book. Those are my plans. As for my body will exist as it does. I've always been a writer, and I do want to continue my career in poetry and writing, but right now I'm really passionate about filmmaking.
Love hearing that.
Oh, thank you, Marty.
It's good to have goals, you know?
It sure is, Marty. What are your goals?
Retire soon to my big house in the Hollywood Hills. Have some ladies over.
Oh, really, Marty? Well, the tabloids are saying, and the Inquirer is saying that Marty over here is going bankrupt. And didn't your last home get foreclosed?
So anyway, David Lynch, who you claim to be inspired by and just passed away this recent January. Tell me more about why you're inspired by him. Penny, Angela.
First and foremost, I want to say rest in peace, David Lynch. You know, I love him so much. He's one of the few good men that were in Hollywood, and I feel we are losing the good men left. David inspired me in many ways. What I like the most about David Lynch is that he's a true artist, Marty. And he spoke about how you don't necessarily have to be good at something to do something. That as long as you are creating art, that is honestly more than enough, because the only way from the bottom is up. So that's how I feel with my filmmaking career. Spoke about how art doesn't have to be good to make art. You have to just keep creating, and that you get better at it. That's something that I like to, approach with art. I tell myself this all the time, that as long as I have a good idea, that is something worth cherishing and holding on to. Even if I don't execute it right, if the idea is good, that means I have something, and I can get the execution better with experience, more money, funding, a bigger crew. But if the idea is good, that means I have something. So I'm going to keep having these good ideas, and the more I do it, the more money I'll make, and the more experience I'll have to be a better filmmaker. And what I love about David is that he was so open about things not needing to make sense. And I've been noticing that even with A Hole in the Sky, there are scenes that perhaps don't make sense even to me, but things don't have to make sense, and art doesn't have to be so linear and cut dry and boring. Isn't that just such a bore, Marty? Mulholland Drive is my favorite movie of all time. So David has inspired me in every single facet of life. And what I really love about David, Marty, is that, like, unlike you that only know like talk show media, David, he was an artist in many mediums. He did film, he did photography, he did sculptures, he did poetry, he did books, he did movies, he did paintings. David was a man of actual talent. Unlike you, Marty. I'm just joking.
What a card. You are such a card, isn't she? Such a card. What a crack up. Okay. Now, as always, 10 rapid questions. Are you ready, Penny Angela?
As ready as I'm ever going to be. I've waited on this moment all my life.
Okay. Let me cue them up. What is your favorite word?
Happy.
What is your least favorite word?
Man.
What turns you on?
Art.
What turns you off?
Poor.
What is your favorite curse word?
Bitch.
What sound or noise do you love? Yeah. What sound or noise do you hate?
Ah!
What profession other than your own would you like to try?
Stay-at-home wife.
What profession would you not like to do?
Your job, Marty, a delicious tabloid.
If heaven exists, what would you say to God when you got to the pearly gates?
I would like to hear God say, "You did a good job, kid. Here's a espresso martini and a chicken Caesar salad wrap."
Oh, it was such a pleasure to have Penny Angela on. I think we will have a good night after this. So thank you all for joining us. Good night. Good luck. Spay or neuter your pets. Don't forget that. Have a good one. I'll see you all on the next one, and stay tuned for the 10 o'clock news next. Yes.
Thank you for having me tonight.
Yes.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. See you next time.
Bye. Thank you.